In the quiet town of Crestview, nestled between rolling hills and the endless dark canvas of the night sky, Jack had always found solace in the stars. As a high school science teacher by day and an amateur astronomer by night, his life was a routine of planets and homework. But tonight was different. The Perseids meteor shower was peaking, and Jack had never missed observing this celestial event since he first peered through his father's telescope as a child. The local astronomy club had organized a viewing event at the old Miller's Field, a vast expanse of open land perfect for stargazing. Jack arrived early with his telescope, eager to set up the best viewing spot. As he adjusted the lens and calibrated the focus, he noticed a slight figure approaching him in the dim light of his lantern. "Is this the astronomy club meet?" asked a soft voice that seemed to carry the melody of the winds. Jack looked up to see a woman standing before him. She was of medium height with striking silver hair that seemed to reflect the moonlight, and her eyes sparkled with a curiosity that matched his own. "Yes, it is. I'm Jack." "Are you here to watch the shower?" he replied, extending his hand. "I am Zara. It's my first time here. Could I join you?" Her accent was unfamiliar, an intriguing blend that Jack couldn't place. "Of course, Zara. Here, let me show you how to use the telescope." Jack's voice carried his excitement. He spent a few minutes explaining the basics of the telescope's mechanics and then directed it towards the northeast, where the meteor shower would soon be visible. As they waited for the sky to perform, Zara shared that she was new to town, having moved from quite a distance away. Her vague details piqued Jack's interest, but he didn't press further, not wanting to pry. Their conversation drifted from constellations to cosmic wonders. Zara spoke of the stars with such passion and depth that Jack found himself lost in her words. She described celestial phenomena he'd only read about in his astronomy books, and her knowledge seemed to stretch far beyond the usual hobbyist. "The universe is vast and filled with miracles, Jack. Where I come from, we believe that every star is a gateway to another reality," Zara said, her eyes reflecting the sky's twinkling patterns. Jack laughed, amused and intrigued. "Where is that exactly?" "Because I'd love to visit." Zara smiled, a mysterious glint playing at the corners of her lips. "Maybe one day I'll show you." The night unfolded with laughter and shared wonders. They took turns peering through the telescope, with Zara pointing out stars and explaining their ancient names and stories. Jack had never met anyone like her. She was a refreshing enigma, a whisper of something otherworldly. As the night reached its peak, so did the meteor shower. They laid back on the cool grass, watching as streaks of light danced across the heavens. In that moment, Jack felt a connection to Zara that went beyond mere shared interests. It was as if the stars had aligned just for them, a celestial nod to a new and exciting beginning. "Look, Jack. A particularly bright one. Make a wish," Zara whispered, her voice blending with the night as another meteor streaked by. Jack closed his eyes, and in the silence of his heart, he wished for the night to never end, to continue sharing this starry realm with Zara. Little did he know, his wish was on the verge of becoming a journey greater than he could have ever imagined. Several weeks after the meteor shower, Jack's friendship with Zara had blossomed into a partnership enriched with deep conversation and shared night watches under the stars. Despite his growing affection, the shroud of mystery surrounding Zara's past remained. She deftly avoided personal questions with a smile or a whimsical tale about distant stars. One crisp autumn evening, as the Earth began its gentle tilt away from the sun, Jack decided to confront the secrets that hovered between them like the uncharted galaxies they so loved to discuss. "Zara, you know nearly everything about my past, my dreams, even my fears," Jack started, as they sat on the porch swing looking up at the emerging stars. "But I realize I know so little about you. Where are you from, really? And why did you come here?" Zara's gaze lingered on the night sky before she turned to Jack, her expression serene yet profound. "Jack, I trust you more than I have trusted anyone in a very long time. I believe it's time I shared my truth with you," she said, her voice steady yet filled with an emotion Jack had not heard before. She took a deep breath and continued, "I am not from anywhere you know. I am from Xyleria, a planet many light-years away from Earth." She paused, gauging Jack's reaction. Jack blinked, processing her words. His mind raced through every logical explanation, but the sincerity in Zara's eyes held him silent, urging him to listen more than speak. "Xyleria is part of a federation of planets connected by their advancements in science and technology, and their pursuit of understanding the cosmos," Zara explained. "I was sent here as a scout to observe and learn about Earth, to determine if humans are ready to join the wider cosmic community. Jack, still grappling with the magnitude of her revelation, found his voice. "So, all those things you told me about the stars," he trailed off. "They were as true as my feelings for you," Zara interjected gently. "Nothing I have shared with you was a lie, Jack. My mission is one of peace and knowledge. And during my time here, I've grown to care for you deeply." The silence that followed was filled with a mutual understanding and awe. Jack looked at Zara, seeing her not just as the woman he was falling for, but as a link to the vast, mysterious universe he had always yearned to explore. "Why me? Why share this with me?" Jack asked, his curiosity piqued beyond his initial shock. "Because you, more than anyone else I've met, have the heart and mind to understand. And because I need your help," Zara replied. "There's more to my mission. I've discovered something that could change everything for both our worlds." Intrigued and now fully committed to the path unfolding before him, Jack nodded for her to go on. Zara reached into her jacket and pulled out a small, intricately carved box. She opened it to reveal a glowing stone that pulsed with light, casting prismatic colors across their faces. "This is an astrolith, a core component of Xylerian technology. It harnesses the energy of stars. My findings suggest that Earth is on the verge of a breakthrough similar to what my people achieved millennia ago. If we can integrate Xylerian technology with human ingenuity, the possibilities are limitless." Jack, overwhelmed but excited, realized that this was no longer just an adventure of the heart, but one that could alter the course of human existence. "What do we need to do?" he asked, his voice a mix of determination and wonder. "We need to find the astrolith's counterpart, which my scans indicate is somewhere on Earth. Together, these stones could provide the key to advancing human technology to interstellar levels. But I can't find it alone. I need you, Jack." As they sat there, the world seemed to expand around them, filled with new stars to navigate. Jack felt a resolve settle within him. This was more than a chance at love or adventure. It was a calling that had come from the far reaches of space and found him, right there, on his porch swing. "I'm with you, all the way to Xyleria and back," Jack affirmed, his hand finding hers. Together, they looked up at the sky, a sky that was suddenly much smaller than it had seemed before, a sky that was theirs to explore together. The early morning sun cast a soft glow through the curtains as Jack and Zara sat at the kitchen table, surrounded by stacks of old books, maps, and high-tech gadgets that looked distinctly out of place in the rustic setting. Zara had brought out the ancient map, an artifact of her world that was older than any human civilization. "This map has been in my family for generations," Zara explained, her fingers tracing the intricate lines and symbols etched onto the metallic surface. "It's not just a map, it's a legacy of exploration and discovery, passed down to those who are called to explore the unknown." Jack leaned in, his eyes scanning the detailed celestial cartography. "And you think this will lead us to the astrolith's counterpart?" "Yes," Zara nodded, her eyes lighting up with excitement. "My ancestors used these maps to navigate the cosmic seas, discovering new worlds and treasures. But this map has a unique signature. It aligns with specific energy patterns, similar to the ones emitted by the astroliths." Jack was still trying to wrap his head around the technology and history Zara had introduced him to. "So, how do we use it to find the other astrolith?" Zara pulled out a small device, sleek and silver, and placed it on the table. "This is a stellar compass. It aligns with the map and guides the bearer towards the energy signature of the corresponding astrolith. We just need to calibrate it with the first astrolith's frequency." As they adjusted the settings on the stellar compass, Zara continued to share more about her culture and the responsibilities of her mission. "My people believe that with great knowledge comes great responsibility. We are not just explorers or scientists, we are guardians of the balance between worlds." Jack, fascinated by the depth of Zara's world and its parallels with his own values, felt a profound connection not only to her but also to the mission they were embarking on together. "It's like you're the astronauts of the galaxy, and now, so am I," he mused. "Exactly," Zara smiled, her expression tender. "And like all great explorers, we need a crew." With the map and compass ready, they planned their next steps. They would need a team, a blend of Jack's earthbound contacts and Zara's technological expertise. Jack thought of a few colleagues at the university and a couple of old friends from the astronomy club who would jump at the chance to be part of something so extraordinary. Over the next few days, they reached out to potential team members. Dr. Lena Edwards, a geologist and an old college friend of Jack's who specialized in electromagnetic phenomena, Marco Chen, a tech entrepreneur and amateur pilot with a penchant for high adrenaline adventures, and Ellie Ramirez, a survival expert with experience in some of Earth's most extreme environments. Each team member was incredulous at first, but the evidence presented by Zara, the astrolith and the technology she shared, convinced them of the veracity and importance of the mission. They agreed to meet at Jack's house to discuss the journey ahead. The gathering was a mix of excitement and apprehension. Zara took the lead, explaining the significance of the map and the potential impact of their findings. She handled their questions with ease, bridging her world and theirs with eloquence and insight. As the meeting drew to a close, the newly formed team gathered around the map, their faces illuminated by the glow of the astrolith and the promise of discovery. They were not just a group of scientists and adventurers anymore. They were pioneers on the brink of a new frontier. "Tomorrow, we begin the calibration process," Zara announced. "Once we align the compass, we'll have a clearer idea of where to start our search. It could take us anywhere on Earth, so be prepared for anything." That night, as Jack lay in bed, the reality of his new life settled around him. Beside him, Zara seemed at peace, her breathing steady and deep. He thought about the journey ahead, the challenges they would face, and the history they were about to write. A smile crept across his face as he drifted into sleep, dreams of distant stars and unknown worlds dancing in his mind. The adventure was just beginning, and there was no one else he would rather have by his side. The morning sun broke over the horizon as Jack and Zara prepared to host the first official gathering of their newly formed team. They rearranged Jack's spacious living room to accommodate their guests, setting up a large circular table with the ancient map spread out in the center, its metallic sheen catching the light. Zara, ever meticulous, arranged a series of holographic projectors around the table. She explained to Jack that these would interface with her devices to provide real-time data and simulations based on their findings. Jack, meanwhile, had prepared a stack of his own notes and research, eager to bridge his understanding of science with the alien technology Zara introduced. One by one, their team arrived. Dr. Lena Edwards was the first, her presence commanding with an eager smile that belied her scholarly demeanor. Marco Chen followed, his youthful energy palpable, carrying a homemade drone he claimed could prove useful. Last to arrive was Ellie Ramirez, whose experience in extreme environments was evident in her confident, almost military precision. As they settled around the table, Zara initiated the meeting. "Thank you, everyone, for coming and for believing in this mission," she began. "Today, we are not just a team. We are partners in an expedition that may well redefine our understanding of the universe." She activated the projectors, and the room was suddenly alive with stars and celestial bodies orbiting above them. The team looked around in awe as Zara continued. "This map is not just a path to the astrolith. It's a window into the pathways our ancestors took through the stars." Jack took over, his voice steady and clear. "We'll be relying on each of your unique skills to navigate the challenges ahead. Lena, your knowledge of geophysical phenomena will help us identify the environmental conditions we might face. Marco, your tech and piloting skills will be crucial, especially since we'll be dealing with technology that's beyond anything we've encountered. And Ellie, your survival expertise will ensure that we can safely explore the most remote and harsh locations on Earth." Dr. Lena Edwards leaned forward, her interest piqued by the holograms. "What sort of environmental conditions are we expecting? This isn't just a simple treasure hunt. We're potentially dealing with extraterrestrial elements." Zara nodded, responding, "Exactly. The energy patterns we're tracking are similar to what we use on Xyleria for terraforming. That means the locations could be geologically unstable or have unusual magnetic fields. Your insights will be invaluable." Marco, fiddling with his drone, chimed in, "And what about the tech we might encounter? I'm guessing it's not all going to be as friendly as the holograms." Zara laughed softly. "We may encounter security systems or automated guardians designed to protect the astrolith. Your skills in hacking and piloting will help us bypass any defenses safely." Ellie's practical voice cut through the excitement. "We need to prepare for all physical conditions: desert, Arctic, jungle. It's unpredictable, so we'll pack for extreme scenarios. Safety is my priority. We'll have gear for climbing, diving, whatever it takes." The discussion continued, with each member contributing ideas and expressing concerns. Jack felt a surge of pride and responsibility as he watched his team come together, their initial skepticism replaced by a shared commitment to their cause. As the meeting drew to a close, Zara presented each team member with a small device. These are communicators. Think of them as supercharged smartphones. They're linked directly to the map and my systems. We'll be able to stay in touch no matter where on Earth we are. The team tested the devices, marveling at the clear displays and seamless interface. The sense of camaraderie was palpable as they joked about who would get the first alien selfie. Finally, Jack stood, gathering the focus of the group. We start tomorrow. Check your gear and be ready to move out at dawn. This isn't just about finding a treasure. It's about proving we can be more than what we are. More connected, more aware, and more respectful of the cosmos. The team nodded, a mixture of nerves and excitement on their faces as they left, each carrying a piece of the future with them. Jack and Zara exchanged a look of mutual respect and anticipation. Together, they were about to embark on the greatest adventure of their lives. The dawn was still a promise on the horizon as the team gathered at the private airstrip Jack had secured for their departure. The air was crisp and cool, tinged with the scent of adventure and the unknown. Each team member arrived, their vehicles packed with the necessary gear for a journey that could take them to any corner of the Earth. Zara and Jack greeted them, the early morning light casting long shadows on the ground as they checked each piece of equipment and loaded it onto the plane. Marco Chen piloted the modified aircraft, a robust model equipped with the latest in aviation and exploration technology, much of it courtesy of Zara's contributions. The plane's interior was crammed with state-of-the-art scientific instruments, survival gear, and a central hub where Zara's map and the stellar compass were securely installed. As they boarded the plane, the gravity of their mission settled over the team. Ellie Ramirez checked her personal survival kit one last time, ensuring she had access to the essentials at a moment's notice. Dr. Lena Edwards reviewed her geophysical sensors and environmental suits, designed to withstand a range of extreme conditions from radioactive anomalies to sub-zero temperatures. Zara, looking every bit the part of a mission commander despite her otherworldly origin, briefed the team once more. The first coordinates we're heading to are in the northern part of Siberia, she announced. The readings suggest a high concentration of the energy pattern similar to the astroliths. We need to be prepared for severe cold and possibly active geological formations. Marco fired up the engines, the sound roaring through the early morning silence. Strap in, everyone. It's going to be a long flight, and if my calculations are correct, a bumpy approach. The team secured themselves as the plane taxied down the runway. Jack, sitting next to Zara, took her hand in his. Her confidence was reassuring, yet he could feel the slight tension in her grip. This was more than just a flight. It was the first real step into the unknown they had planned and prepared for. As the plane lifted off, the ground falling away beneath them, a sense of solemnity filled the cabin. They were leaving behind everything familiar, venturing into a realm where the rules were dictated by alien physics and untold secrets. The flight was long, the plane cutting through clouds and time zones. Marco kept them updated on their progress, his voice steady over the comms. Lena and Ellie discussed potential scenarios they might encounter on the ground, from magnetic storms to icequakes. Zara spent the flight monitoring the map and compass, her eyes never straying far from the glowing lines that seemed to pulsate with a life of their own. The map wasn't just a guide, it was a link to her heritage, a relic of a civilization far advanced yet deeply connected to the cosmos. As they neared their destination, the terrain below turned into a vast expanse of white, the Siberian wilderness untouched and foreboding. Marco began the descent, the plane's advanced navigation systems interacting seamlessly with the coordinates provided by the stellar compass. The landing was smooth despite the icy runway. The cold hit them like a wall as they disembarked, but they were prepared. Ellie led the way in setting up a base camp, her expertise ensuring that each tent was secured against the harsh winds and biting cold. With the camp established, Jack called a brief meeting. We'll need to start the scans at dawn. It's too risky to venture far with the daylight fading, and we need every advantage we can get. The team agreed, each member retreating to their tents to rest before the day's work. Jack and Zara, however, remained outside a little longer, staring at the stars that shone with unfamiliar clarity in the Siberian sky. This is it, Zara. We're really doing this, Jack whispered, his breath visible in the cold air. Yes, Jack. And no matter what we find, this journey, it's already changed everything, Zara replied, her voice a mixture of awe and determination. They returned to their tent, the weight of their quest settling around them like the snow. Tomorrow they would step into the unknown, guided by a map starlit and full of secrets, on a planet that was, for the first time, a shared home between two vastly different yet inextricably linked beings. The first light of dawn spread across the Siberian landscape, painting the snow in hues of gold and pink. Jack and Zara emerged from their tent, dressed in thermal gear that Lena had recommended for the day. The cold was intense, but the excitement of the upcoming exploration injected warmth into their veins. After a quick breakfast, the team gathered around a portable console that Zara had set up. It was linked directly to the stellar compass and the ancient map, showing their next steps projected on a digital grid laid over the icy terrain. According to the map, the potential site for the astrolith's counterpart is about 2 kilometers north of our camp, Zara explained, pointing to a series of blinking coordinates on the screen. The area is marked by ancient Xylean symbols for knowledge and power. We should be prepared for any sort of defense mechanisms or tests. Marco, always eager for a technical challenge, checked the drone's readiness. I'll fly ahead and scout the route. This tech should give us a good overview of what's waiting for us. As Marco's drone buzzed away into the crisp morning air, Ellie checked the group's gear, ensuring that everyone was equipped with emergency supplies and communication devices. Lena had her geological scanners ready, suspecting that the site might be protected by natural phenomena altered or enhanced by Xylean technology. The team set out, following the drone's path as it relayed back images of the terrain. The landscape was mostly flat, but as they approached the coordinates, large, spherical stones began to emerge from the snow, arranged in a deliberate pattern. "These must be the orbs Zara mentioned," Jack said, approaching one cautiously. "They don't seem active, though." Zara examined the orbs, her hand hovering over their surfaces. "They're dormant now, but I can activate them. Each orb must be charged with specific elemental energies. We need to figure out the right combination to unlock the pathway." Lena's interest peaked as she took readings with her equipment. These stones are emitting low levels of electromagnetic energy, but nothing harmful. It's fascinating, like they were designed to interface directly with natural forces. Zara nodded, taking a device from her pack that looked like a sophisticated remote control. This device can mimic elemental charges: fire, air, water, earth. The correct sequence will activate the orbs. The team spread out, each taking a position near different orbs. Zara directed them, using her device to send bursts of energy to the orbs. The first few attempts were met with silence, but then, as Jack adjusted the settings as per Zara's instructions, one of the orbs began to glow faintly. "Got something here," he called out. The orb pulsed with a soft light, and then another orb lit up in response to Ellie's adjustments. The team continued this trial-and-error process, guided by the ancient map and Zara's knowledge of her people's technology. Slowly, a pattern emerged. The orbs needed to be activated in a sequence that corresponded not just to the elements but also to the positioning of the constellations above. "It's like a cosmic lock," Lena observed, amazed by the sophistication of the puzzle. With the final sequence entered, the last orb lit up, sending a beam of light skyward. The ground trembled slightly under their feet, and a pathway of light emerged, leading them forward. "Follow the light," Zara said, her voice filled with reverence. "It's showing us the way." The path led to a hidden cave entrance that had been concealed beneath the snow. Inside, the cave opened into a large chamber, where the light from the orbs illuminated intricate carvings and ancient Xylean inscriptions on the walls. "We've found it," Zara whispered, her voice echoing slightly in the vast space. The chamber's center held a pedestal, upon which sat another orb, this one larger and filled with a swirling galaxy of colors. It was the counterpart to the astrolith they had brought with them. As they approached, the orb reacted to their presence, glowing brighter. Zara stepped forward, her hand outstretched. "This is what we came for. Let's see what secrets it holds." The team gathered around, watching in awe as Zara communicated with the device, unlocking the knowledge and power of her ancestors. It was a moment of triumph, the success of their journey reflecting in every face, each mind buzzing with the realization that they were standing on the threshold of new worlds and possibilities. Inside the cavernous chamber, lit only by the otherworldly glow of the ancient orb, the team stood in silence, their breath visible in the cold air as they waited for Zara to make the next move. With a look of solemn responsibility, she approached the pedestal where the larger orb sat, her movements careful and deliberate. "Before I can retrieve it, I must communicate with its guardian," Zara explained, her voice echoing softly off the stone walls. "The Guardian is an advanced artificial intelligence created by my ancestors to protect the astrolith. It will assess our intentions and our worthiness." Jack, feeling the weight of the moment, watched as Zara placed her hands on the orb. The surface rippled like water touched by a gentle breeze, and a low hum filled the chamber, growing louder as the orb responded to her touch. A holographic interface suddenly projected from the orb, displaying intricate symbols and images that danced in the air before them. Zara spoke in her native language, her words flowing with an urgent rhythm. The team could only watch in awe, not understanding the words but feeling their significance. After a moment, the orb's glow intensified, and the Guardian's voice filled the room, deep and resonant, yet devoid of warmth. "Why have you come?" it asked, the translation appearing on the holographic display for the others to read. "We seek to unite the knowledge of Xyleria with that of Earth, to bridge our worlds and advance together," Zara responded confidently, her eyes never leaving the swirling colors of the orb. The Guardian paused, its silence oppressive in the confined space. "Many have sought the astrolith for power, for control. How do I know you are different?" Zara's response was firm. "We come with open hearts and a desire to protect and enhance life, not to dominate or destroy. This team, these people from Earth, they represent the best of their world: curiosity, bravery, compassion, and respect for the cosmos." Jack felt a surge of pride and hope. Zara's words not only vouched for their mission but for humanity itself. The Guardian seemed to consider her answer, the orb pulsating with a faster rhythm. "If you are true, you will complete the final test. Prove your knowledge and resolve." The floor of the chamber began to shift, segments of the stone flooring sliding away to reveal a complex pattern of tiles, each marked with different symbols that matched the ones hovering in the holographic display. "You must solve the pathway of elements," the Guardian intoned. "Each step must be taken in harmony with the natural order of the universe." Zara turned to her team. "We need to activate the tiles in a sequence that aligns with the elemental cycle of creation, starting from chaos, through formation, to life-giving, and finally to renewal. It's the core of Xylerian philosophy." Lena quickly sketched the symbols, trying to match them with natural elements and processes. "So, we start with what could symbolize chaos, perhaps a storm or volcanic activity." "Exactly," Zara confirmed, pointing to a tile with a swirling cloud and lightning bolt. "Jack, you're first. Step on the storm tile." Jack did as instructed, feeling a slight vibration underfoot as the tile lit up, its light spreading to adjacent tiles in a specific pattern. "Next, we need formation. Mountains forming, perhaps?" Lena suggested, pointing to a tile with a mountain peak. Ellie stepped forward confidently, her boot making contact with the tile. It too illuminated, and the pattern continued to grow. "This one, life-giving, water," Marco said, indicating a tile with waves. He moved to it, activating the tile which then connected the path from storm to mountain. "Lastly, renewal, which must be the forest tile," Zara concluded. She stepped onto the indicated tile, and the entire pathway they had created glowed brightly, a clear path formed among the other unlit tiles. The Guardian's voice resounded through the chamber once again. "You have shown wisdom and respect for the balance of life. The astrolith is yours to claim, but remember, its power is not to be hoarded but shared." With the test complete, the orb at the center of the room brightened, its swirling colors calming into a steady, pulsing light. Zara approached it again, this time lifting it from its pedestal. The energy in the room shifted, feeling lighter, as if approving their success. Jack and the team gathered around Zara, who held the astrolith out so all could see. "We did it," she said, a smile breaking through her usually composed demeanor. "Now, let's take this back and use it to help our worlds." As they made their way out of the chamber, the sense of accomplishment was palpable, but so was the responsibility they now carried. They had passed the Guardian's test, but the real challenge, of ensuring the astrolith's power was used wisely, was just beginning. The return to their camp was filled with quiet triumph and palpable anticipation. As the team emerged from the ancient cave, the first rays of dawn painted the snow-covered landscape with hues of pink and gold. The chill of the Siberian morning seemed to dissipate as Zara held the glowing astrolith, its swirling colors casting a soft light on the team's faces. Back at their camp, Marco set up the central workstation where Zara could connect both astroliths. The smaller one they had brought from Xyleria and the new, larger counterpart resonated with each other, emitting synchronized pulses that hummed with raw energy. Lena and Ellie, who had already begun packing up their research equipment, paused to watch the unfolding scene with awe. Zara took a deep breath, her expression a blend of solemnity and hope. "This is the moment where we bridge two worlds," she said, placing both astroliths into the central node Marco had constructed. The devices fit seamlessly, like two pieces of a cosmic puzzle reunited after eons apart. As soon as they connected, the workstation lit up, projecting a three-dimensional holographic sphere that encompassed the entire camp. The hologram displayed constellations, planets, and data points that rotated around the team in a slow, mesmerizing dance. It was as if the universe itself had opened a window to its hidden knowledge. "This is incredible," Lena breathed, eyes wide as the hologram revealed symbols and equations that defied even her extensive knowledge. These formulas, they're decades, if not centuries, ahead of anything on Earth. Marco's fingers flew over his keyboard, recording every ounce of data that the astroliths projected. This could change everything. Energy solutions, space travel, medicine, it's all here. But it was more than just scientific data. As Zara adjusted the settings, the hologram displayed images of Xyleria's history. Towering cities with architecture that seemed to defy gravity, lush alien forests filled with bioluminescent plants, and vast starships that traveled seamlessly between galaxies. Zara turned to the team, her voice thick with emotion. "This isn't just a treasure trove of information. It's a living library of my people's journey, our knowledge, and our mistakes. We must share it, but we must do so wisely." Jack nodded, understanding the weight of her words. The power they now held could propel Earth into a new age or set it on a course of reckless ambition and conflict. "We'll have to be careful about how we introduce this," he said. "We need allies, scientists, leaders, who share our vision of using this for the good of all." Ellie stepped forward, her practical nature surfacing. "And we'll need to prepare for those who'll want this knowledge for less noble reasons. Power like this always comes with risks." Zara's eyes met Ellie's, and she nodded. "That's why the Guardian's message is so important. The astroliths were never meant to be controlled by a single being or entity. They're meant to be shared, to inspire, and to teach." As the holographic display continued to reveal layer upon layer of cosmic secrets, Zara began transferring key elements into Earth-compatible formats, ensuring that the initial data would focus on universal benefits, clean energy solutions, medical advancements, and sustainable agriculture. Over the next few hours, the team worked tirelessly. Lena deciphered complex geophysical data that hinted at new methods to harness geothermal energy without disrupting the environment. Marco found blueprints for propulsion systems that could revolutionize space travel, making interstellar exploration a reality within their lifetimes. But amidst the excitement, Jack felt a growing sense of responsibility. He knew that back in Crestview, and across the world, life was continuing as usual, blissfully unaware of the shift in humanity's trajectory that was unfolding in the icy Siberian wilderness. When the initial data transfer was complete, Zara stood up, exhaustion evident but overshadowed by the glow of triumph. "We need to bring this back to trusted minds, people who will uphold the values of exploration and peace," she said. The team agreed, and they packed up their camp swiftly. The return journey was filled with plans and discussions about how to proceed. Marco suggested a strategic alliance with organizations known for ethical scientific advancement, while Ellie proposed a network of international scientists who could peer review and validate the new technologies. As they boarded the plane for the return flight, Jack caught Zara's gaze. "This changes everything, doesn't it?" he asked. She smiled, a blend of relief and determination. "Yes, but it's only the beginning. What we found here is a key, not just to knowledge, but to a future where Earth and Xyleria are no longer strangers." The flight home was marked by a strange sense of serenity. The plane cut through clouds, carrying not just passengers but the hope of two worlds united by curiosity, courage, and the promise of a shared destiny. When they finally touched down, the world awaited them, as unchanged and familiar as when they had left. But Jack, Zara, and their team knew that they were on the cusp of a new era. The stars, once distant points of light in the sky, now held the blueprint to a future woven with the threads of both Earth's ingenuity and Xyleria's wisdom. Their story was only just beginning, a tale that would echo through history as the moment humanity first stepped into its larger cosmic role, guided not by conquest or ambition, but by the spirit of unity and exploration.